Hello, hello. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of makeup today, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the giveaway for whoever's interested in the giveaway. How could you not be interested in the giveaway though? I'm gonna share this post just so everybody on my page can see it too. I think I'm sharing it on the right place. We'll see though. I'm gonna wait for a couple more people to pop on. Okay, perfect. So we'll get started with makeup, and I'm just gonna kind of go through a little bit on what we're doing, and while I'm going through the makeup, I will talk about the giveaway. And if anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to shout them out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in with I'm going to go in with primer so we can start our foundation. So I think I got this in a little set. It's the Laura Geller Spackle Primer. It's really shimmery. I don't know if you can see that. But my face is washed and moisturized. And that's really important. Before you start your makeup, make sure that you wash and moisturize your face. So next I'm going to go in with a little bit of a concealer just on the really red patches right on the sides of my face. As you can see right there and right there, I get really red on the sides of my cheeks. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of concealer before I do foundation. So I just get it right there. And on the other side. So who's excited for the giveaway? I'm super excited, and the reason that I'm excited and the reason that I did it this way is because I feel like a lot of giveaways, you just like and share the page and then that gets you in. With this giveaway, I wanted it to be more involving other people, and I really want the winner of this giveaway to be, not that everybody's not deserving, but I really, really want to be giving this to somebody who wouldn't have the opportunity to do so otherwise. I love hearing about everybody's stories, and I like that with this you have to nominate somebody in order to be entered, and the person that gets picked, the person that nominated them, gets a shampoo, conditioner, like a full-size shampoo, conditioner, and styling product. So, I mean, you benefit too from submitting other people. So I just think from the kindness of your heart and really going out on a limb to nominate somebody who you think is really deserving would be awesome. And with this, when you nominate somebody, if they get picked, they're going to get like the full work. So it's not like they're just going to come into the salon and get a haircut. They're going to come in, we'll do a full color on them. We'll do a haircut, a style, really whatever they want to do. If they want their nails painted, anything like that, I'm 100% willing to do whatever they want to do. So that's why it's so important. Get your people nominated. Somebody that you think is really deserving, mom, grandma, your neighbor, your cousin, whoever you want to nominate, just because I think that it's a really good thing to do. So if you haven't sent your nominations in, easiest way to do it so I can keep them all together is send your nominations to my hair page. So hair by Rachel K. It's this page that I'm doing the main video on. That's where you'll want to send your nominations. And then I write down everybody that sent nominations in, that's giving nominations, stuff like that. I'm going to write everybody down. And then I haven't fully decided how I want to do it because I want to make it very unbiased. But I think and I'll have somebody else go through the nominations as well and read the stories and see what we all think, and then we'll go from there, kind of picking the winner from the nominations. And I think that that's what would be fair, that's what would be best, is having another person. You guys can let me know what you think too, but this is something that I'm really excited about. I've really been working on this for a long time. And I just really, really want to give somebody who's super deserving of a service, maybe somebody who couldn't afford it otherwise, who doesn't really have the time to do so. I want to give back to people. I think that I'm in an industry where I can really give back to people. And I'm in an industry where I can help others. And that's what I love so much about what I do. Making people feel beautiful and helping people and doing stuff like that, to where I just want to extend that out to maybe somebody who can't do that on a daily basis, and somebody maybe that's feeling low or that just needs a little bit of a pick-me-up. So that's my stand on what I'm doing. That's my 10-minute long rant that I just went on. So I just put foundation on. I'm just using the L'Oreal Infallible foundation. It is the Pro Matte 24-hour one. I'm using the shade 102 because I'm really, really pale. And the sun is shining, and we all need a little bit of sunshine for the summer. So hopefully in the near future, I'll be able to bump up my shade a little bit. But right now I just put that concealer that I used to conceal the redness on my cheeks. I'm putting that under my eyes. And then I'm going to use that as a little bit of a primer as well. Does anybody have any picks on what you want to see eye makeup wise? I pretty much always do the foundation, like the face routine the same, but I always change it up for eyes. So if anybody has anything specific they want to see, shout it out. I'm trying to finish this part as fast as possible because I know nobody wants to sit there and watch a foundation routine because pretty much they're all the same. As you can see, you can still tell that I've got a little bit of redness hiding under my foundation on my skin. It's almost impossible to cover all of it up. So I just embrace some of it, you know. Why not? So next, I'm going to go in with a little bit of powder. I've been really, really loving this Clinique powder. It's the Invisible Blend and the shade 20, which I think is just their translucent. So I'm just going to go in with this. I'm going to use this beauty blender that is damp from previously dampening it. I'm just going to kind of pat it in there and pounce it right under my eyes. What I found with this is I get really good coverage with the powder. It really mattifies everything, and then it makes it stay all day long because you're melting your powder into your foundation. Now my beauty blender, it's damp, it's not wet, and that's, I think, the key to some of it is some people get their beauty blender wet, don't wring out the excess, and then try and use it that way, and it's just going to be a hot mess. So I'm basically, with this, I'm going over everywhere that I put concealer. Now I'm going to use that same powder, just with a brush this time. Take a little bit of that, and then put that on the other areas just to set them. You can see that powder going everywhere. And then I'm going to set the concealer that we put over my eyelids. So now we're starting off with like a very clean base, I guess. So I saw something on a makeup, like a makeup page that I'm a part of. I saw something the other day, and somebody was asking if you should go with a lighter shade or a darker shade for your foundation. And I feel like this is kind of a common question that people ask, what shade should they go with, lighter or darker? My answer is always you should go with a shade that your skin is actually in. You should always match it with your neck, because I don't know about you, but my face is always a little bit of a different color than my neck and my body. I don't know why. But I always match foundation shades to my neck and not my face. But you should go with the same color that you actually are, not a shade lighter, not a shade darker, but the same. If you can't find something that's the exact same, I would say go a little bit lighter so you can use bronzer and make it a little bit darker. But that's what that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going in with a little bit of bronzer. So bronzer, if you think about color, so darker colors diminish, lighter colors bring forth. So that's why you put your darker colors, your bronzers and stuff, in the hollows of your cheeks, around your face, on your jawline, stuff like that, because those are the areas that you want to diminish. You want to make your cheekbones pop. You want to make other things like that happen. So that's why you put your bronzer in those areas and your highlights on the high points of your cheeks. So like bridge of your nose, tops of your cheekbones, stuff like that, areas that you want to bring forward and that you want people to notice. So after I get done with bronzer, I use the Too Faced bronzer, by the way, the Chocolate Soleil, I believe. I'm going to go in with my Shade and Light palette, and I'm going to contour just a little bit. So I always go from the top of my ear, meet it down to the corner of my mouth. I don't bring it all the way, but that's kind of the line that you want to follow. So you just want to follow that area right there, so you can see where you have not put any bronzer or contour, and then where you've got that contour started. Same thing on this side, and then I always just bring it up onto my temples a tiny bit. I don't use tons of bronzer on my forehead, and then I'll just take what's left, run it down the sides of my nose, and then right under here, and then right on my chin. So that's kind of where I contour and where I bronze. I'm not a huge blush girl, but I still use a tiny bit of blush just because I feel like you need to add that color back into your face a little bit. So I just add blush right on the apples of my cheeks. Hi to everybody that's just popping on and who's been on the whole entire time. If you have any requests for eye makeup, just shout them out. And then I'm going to go in with highlights. So I have been using the NYX Illuminator. Yeah, the NYX Illuminator in Ritual. So I'm just going to use that on a tiny little brush. Go right on my cheek, right on the tops of my cheekbones on the highest point, right above my eyebrow. And then down the center of my nose, tiny bit on the tip of my nose, and then right on my Cupid's bow. So that's where I put highlighter, blush, contour, all that fun stuff. Okay, so now we're going to go in and we're going to do brows. I feel like this is the most personal thing for everybody. Everybody has different ways of doing their brows, but I'll show you how I do mine. So right now I've been using the Dip Brow by Anastasia of Beverly Hills. And so I just get a little bit of that Dip Brow, and it's like a pomade. So if you think of a gel eyeliner, that's kind of like what this is. So I just take that on this brush, and it's the Anastasia brush that it comes with. I'm trying to get this to where the light's not really crazy, but this is going to be kind of hard. Okay, so you kind of take it, fluff your brow hairs up just a little bit so you can kind of see what you're working with. And then I always start on the bottom. So I always make tiny little brush strokes. So I start on the bottom to define my line. So you can see that I've got my line going now. Now I just kind of push that product up. So I don't grab any extra product, and I just kind of push it up, and then I'll turn my brush around and create little tiny brow strokes. Oh shoot. I just got a lot right there. Okay, so you're just kind of pushing this product up. I'm not applying a lot of pressure at all, but pushing this product up, and then I'm going to turn my brush sideways and kind of make little hair-like strokes in the front. Then I'm going to take my spoolie and comb them out. Kind of blend everything together. So you see how the front of the brow is starting to kind of mold itself. It's forming itself. I'm like sweating. And then you're going to keep going with the back. Now the back of the brow, I do tend to kind of like hold and drag a little bit more instead of being so light-handed, I guess, because I feel like the feathered brow, where it's a little bit lighter and more sparse in the front and then a little bit fuller in the back, is what I like to do. So you can tell the difference already between like an undone brow and a done brow. They make a big difference. I keep looking at myself like I'm looking funny. It's because I've got foundation all over my lips. Okay, so we're just going to go into that other brow and do the exact same thing. So I always struggle with my left side. I can always get my right side kind of like down and ready to go, but my left side I always struggle with, so it takes me a little bit longer. So you see that we've created that base again. So, and then you're going to push that product up. I have got to take this jacket off. I'm like sweating. Okay. I've got a candle right next to me and everything. Okay. So we're going to go in and push that product up like we did before. And then go a little bit more heavy-handed towards the back. And then do those hair-like strokes right in the front there. Now these aren't too terribly off. Sometimes they are a little bit wonky, but you can kind of just go back in and form them the way that they need to be. I've always said, eyebrows are sisters, they're not twins, they can even be cousins, but they have to at least be within the same family. They can't be like so far off that they look like they should be on two different people. So that's kind of what's happening with the brows right now. We're gonna leave it. Sometimes later on I'll go back through and redo them a little bit, but right now I'm okay with them. Okay, so now we're gonna go on with eyeshadow. So my favorite eyeshadow palettes, I know it's a lot, I know, I'm embarrassed. So I'll talk a little bit about some of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. Always the Morphe palette. It's got tons and tons of different colors in it. You can do so many different eye looks with it. It's one of my favorites. I always like the Lorac Pro palette. I feel like it's kind of a staple. Obviously I've used it, and there's an eyelash attached to it. Good. Okay, I like the Tartelette and Bloom palette. This one's really nice. It's got some neutral to warm tones. The Lorac Unzipped palette. These two are my favorite two colors. And I've always been in love with this palette, the Modern Renaissance palette. So I feel like we're gonna do something a little bit warmer today, just because it's warm outside, warm tones. Summer, here we come. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with Burnt Orange to start off with, and I'm gonna put that in my crease and kind of work it up a little bit higher. So I'm just gonna take that. Hi, everybody. If anybody's got any questions of what I've been doing, feel free to ask. So I'm just working that color right up into my crease and a little bit higher, like I just said. And this right here is just a mirror that I can see a little bit better in. And then I've got a mirror directly behind too, so I can see all angles. Okay, so that warmer color is just worked right into that crease. Now I'm gonna go in with like a kind of a purple-ish color. It's not really purple, it's more of like a brown with a little bit of a lavender-ish undertone, I guess. So I'm gonna work that in there, but I'm gonna stay a little bit lower. As you can see, I'm not bringing it up towards my brow as much. I'm gonna stay a little bit lower with that and just keep that in my crease. Windshield wiper motions back and forth, windshield wiper motions. And then same thing on the other eye. Now what I've been liking to do, that didn't even make sense. What I have liked doing recently is staying a little bit lighter on the inner corner, darker on the outer corner. So we're gonna do that same exact thing. I want your eyebrows. They're all fake. You can have them. You can have my natural eyebrows. They are just all drawn on and fake. And then I'm gonna go in with warm taupe. I do wish I have your eyebrows.
My eyebrow.
You do need them waxed. I'm gonna go in with this warm taupe. Notice I have not. No, the fake ones. LOL. I know. I've got to do your eyebrows sometime. That would be so much fun. You have good natural eyebrows to like draw eyebrows onto. So this warm taupe color, I'm going out on the outer corner. Martin eyebrows bushy and thick. They are bushy and thick. Your sister.
I got a unibrow.
That situation fixed.
Love you.
Love you.
Tell her to get to my parents.
There you go. And then we're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. So you notice I always go back and forth between one eye to the other eye, just because you're working with the same colors when you're going from one eye to the other eye. And sometimes I either forget what I've done to one eye and I'll forget to do it to the other one, or it's hard to go back and forth between colors all the time. So that's my preference, is to go one eye to the other eye, and then you can make sure that everything's matching up and looking the same and everything's working the way that it should. Okay, so as you can see, I've continued to leave this mostly blank, and then I'm starting to work darker colors into the outer corner. And then what I do when I don't have anything left on the brush is I kind of push it up, just to make sure that all those colors that I've been using are blending. You've got good eyebrows too. Everybody's got good eyebrows. The game's all about the eyebrows. So now I'm going to go into, what do I want to do? I'm going to go into the Lorac Pro palette. I'm going to pick up this color called Sable. It's this one right here, I think. Yeah, that one right there. So it's a little bit of a warmer, a little darker of a brown. Still on the exact same brush. So I'm just picking up a tiny bit, tapping off the excess, and then I'm just still packing that right in that outer V area, I guess. So, and then the other thing is you can extend it. A lot of people feel like, so the corner of my eye is right here. A lot of people feel like you can't go any further than that. I always extend it out a little bit so you can see that little V in the outer part of your eye. And extending that out, it'll elongate your eyes. It'll make your eyes look a little bit bigger. All that fun stuff. So you can already tell the difference in the two once you start building up that darker color in that outer corner. So you're going to keep doing that back and forth between both eyes. So, I mean, and these are kind of like the eyebrow situation, like your eyes are sisters, not twins. Not everything needs to be the exact same, but the same gist. I have bald spots on my eyebrows. I think everybody has bald spots on their eyebrows, to be honest. That's why I fill mine in. Mine are light. I've got bald spots on them, and I don't like the shape of them. So now we're going to go into a different brush. So I'm going to take this brush. The other one was a really big, fluffy brush. This one is a little bit more compact, and it's more flat on the edge. So now I'm just going to go into a dark brown. Any dark brown that you've got. Preferably, if you're following, do a warmer toned brown. So I'm just going to lightly tap that right in that outer corner. We're just building that up still. And I feel like eyeshadow always looks kind of crazy before it's done. So while you're doing it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is not even going to turn out right. But once you get it done and everything's done, the whole entire thing kind of comes together. So next, I'm going to wipe my mirror off because it's really dirty. Okay, so now we're going to start working to the lighter color in the inner corner. This is my favorite brush for that. It's just kind of compact. It fits like right in the inner corner of your eye really nicely because it's got that point on it. So I'm going to go in with this, and picking the color is the hardest part. So I'm going to go in this Vermeer color. It's from the Modern Renaissance palette. Now a lot of people put concealer down so that they can kind of carve out the inner corner of their eye so they can get that color nice and poppin', but I'm just going to put that color down, pull it up above my crease just a teeny tiny bit, And I'm going to pack most of the color right in that inner corner and kind of pull it out to the side. So as you can see between the two eyes, it just adds a little bit of definition right in that inner corner. And then we're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. Does anybody have any questions so far? Questions, comments, concerns about makeup, the giveaway, anything? Anything at all? Make sure that you're sending in those nominations. Because if your nomination gets chosen, you get a free shampoo, conditioner, and product choice. So, that's exciting. Okay, so now you can see, I mean, like I said, it still looks a little bit crazy because it's gonna look crazy until you get it all the way finished. You just have to push through and believe that you can do it. Now I'm going back in with this brush. I'm gonna take one of the lighter brown colors that we used earlier, and I'm just gonna take that and blend the lighter color and the darker colors together. So kind of meet them right in the middle so that it fades nicely from lighter to darker and you don't have any harsh lines. I feel like I've been slacking doing my makeup lately. I've felt very uninspired. I'm not really sure why. Because I probably do the same thing all the time. Okay, next. Here's a trick for everybody who wants the eyeliner look but does not want to put the eyeliner on. Because I'm the same. I hate putting eyeliner on. It's like my worst nightmare. So I've got this tiny little like stubble brush. This guy right here, it's very flat on the sides. It's very short, it's very compact. So what I like to do is I kind of like to use this to apply eyeliner. So I'll take my black shadow, take it on here, tap off the excess. This is not for hooded. You couldn't really see it. You could, so it's kind of harder to do it like that. So with hooded eyes, you almost have to like create your own new crease. So when you open your eyes, I mean, I have a little bit of a hooded eye just because when I open my eyes wide, most of my lid is gone. But you almost have to create a new crease. So you have to go a little bit higher than your crease to be able to see those colors. So it's a little bit difficult, but it's definitely doable. You just won't, if her eye is open all the way, you won't be able to see it as much. So I'm just going to stamp that black right across my eye. Like getting it as close to my lash line as I possibly can. I'm just going to stamp it. And you want to make sure that you tap off all the excess too, so that black shadow doesn't fall on top of your freshly done face, because that would be kind of tragic. And then I always prefer a wing liner, so I'm just going to take that brush and stamp it out and draw it back in. And then you can build up the intensity of the black. You can make it as thick or as thin as you want. You can bring it in, you can push it out, you can do whatever you want with it, however you prefer your eyeliner. You can already tell what a difference that makes in one eye versus the other. I think it just adds a little bit more definition. So you're gonna do the exact same thing to the other side, because remember, we're going back and forth. I feel like I can't see anything. I've been wearing my glasses all day. I didn't put my contacts in, so I'm kind of going at this blind, I feel like. Okay. So, that's close enough. That one's a little further out. There we go. That's close enough. What brand is that? What brand is the eyeshadow? Is that what you're asking? If it's the eyeshadow, I'm using the Lorac Pro palette. It looks like this. It's just that plain black right there. You can use any plain black liner. If you're asking about the brush is liner you just use. It's not liner, it's eyeshadow. So I used this brush right here. It's just a tiny little like stamp brush almost. So I used that brush into a black eyeshadow and made it look almost like an eyeliner. So I'm going to go back in with that orangey color that we used, the very first color, and I'm going to put that on my lower lash line. A lot of people are really scared to put shadow on their lower lash line, and I feel like it's so much easier than everybody thinks. So I always start off with lighter colors, like always. I'll start off with lighter colors and work my way into the darker colors. So I just run this lighter color all the way across. I'm very messy with it because you want it a little more blown out. You don't want it super, super precise. So I use that, and then I go into that warm taupe color that I used earlier too. And I'm going to be a little bit more precise, get it a little bit closer to my lash line and not go in to my inner corner as far. And I really like this brush because I feel like it's very compact. It's an Urban Decay brush. I got it in my Smoky palette, I think. Yeah. And you've got this other little pencil brush on the other end. So I'm going to take that pencil brush into a dark brown eyeshadow, any dark brown eyeshadow that you have. And be very careful and just run that right on as close to my lashes as I can get, right on the outer corner, just to build up some depth. Like that. So you've got darkness on both sides with the lightness in the middle. Or not in the middle, in the inside. So now I'm going to take this little brush. It's another little pencil brush that I use for the inner corner. I'm going to take a lighter color. It can be any lighter color that you want. And I'm going to pop that right in the inner corner. Right in the inner corner, and then I'm going to put it right under my brow. So what this is going to do is it's like a little instant brow lift. So you put it right under your brow, and it just lifts it right up. Can you tell the difference between the two? This one has it, and it kind of lifts that brow up, and it kind of just gives it like a gradient effect to where everything's very seamless. And then you're just going to pop it right under there again. So now you've got that done. If you want, here's a little tip too. If you want to make the inner corner a little bit more bright and metallic, I guess, you use the same brush, dip it into the same one. This is MAC Fix Plus. You can use water, you can use hairspray, you can use whatever you want. And you're just going to spray that brush with some of that MAC Fix Plus just to get it a little bit damp. And then you're going to pack it right on there like you did before. And it's just going to make that shadow payoff a little bit more intense. Can you tell the difference between those two? So that's a little hot tip for you. If you want a more intense shimmer, dampen your brush while your product is on there. And then you just pack it right in there. Now when you do this, I always let it dry for just a minute, and then I go back in and kind of blend on those edges. So that, for the most part, is done. And then I will take this same MAC Fix Plus and I spray my face. And what that's going to do is it's going to kind of melt your powder into your liquid foundation, and it's going to kind of melt them all together so that you get a very flawless thing. You don't look cakey, you don't look powdery, you don't look any of that kinds of stuff. And I let that set. And then I'm going to go in with some mascara, as always, my Scandalize Retro Glam from Rimmel. This is my favorite mascara I have ever used in my whole entire life. A lot of people don't like it because the brush is huge, so this brush is a monster. But it covers everything so quick, and it's so easy to use. So I usually apply 2 coats. So I'll go in with the first coat, and I apply to the front and back of my lashes. By that, I mean that I'll apply... What's happening with the lights? It's really dark. I have no idea. So I apply to the front like normal, but then I turn the wand around. Well, I turn the wand and apply to the back of my lashes as well. I don't know if you guys can tell. Is it super dark? Or is that just where I'm at? Front and the back and the front and the back. So after I apply this coat, I go back in and just apply one more thin coat. I like to say it's thin. It's probably not a thin coat, but one more coat. Yeah, like so. Not dark on my end. Okay, good. It must just be mine. I'm not sure why. So front and back, front and back, front and back. And then you've got your lashes. Now I switched to a different mascara for my bottom lashes because the brush on this thing is so gigantic that it's kind of intimidating bringing it close to your eye for your bottom lashes. So I use, it's the Sumptuous Bold Volume Lifting Mascara by Estee Lauder. So I just take that, and you can see the brush is a lot smaller. And I just kind of wiggle this into my bottom lashes. Like that. And I think that lower mascara makes all the difference. It really opens your eyes up a lot. And I have long bottom lashes, so if I don't put the mascara on the bottom, it looks funky. We were talking about maybe going to TGI Fridays, but who knows? Usually Tuesdays I don't have makeup on either, so I figured if I was going to do a video and talk about my giveaway, then why not do a video and incorporate some makeup too? Because I've been slacking on that a lot. Okay, so lip color is the hardest. I'm probably just going to go with what I always go with. So, chapstick always before. I usually use liquid lips anyways. So if you don't use chapstick before, your lips are going to be like really dry. And I feel like if you do a bold eye, doing a bold lip is kind of like a little too much. So, I mean, you can do it. I do it quite often, but sometimes it's a little bit too much. So this is Stila's, it's called Patina, I think. It's their Stay All Day liquid lipstick. This one's empty, so I'm going to run really quick and grab my full one. I'll be right back. Okay. I got little sample sizes of that liquid lipstick, and I am seriously obsessed, so I keep the full one in my purse at all times so that I can always wear it. But it usually lasts all day, so I usually don't have any problem with it wearing off. So I'm going to take that and put it on. I've been having really dry lips lately too. This is always the most awkward part of the video because you just sit there in silence. I need to have music in the background or something. Now, I'll sometimes overline my lips, but usually not. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the lipstick. It typically dries down pretty quick, so you don't have to worry about like a fast dry time, which is nice. Hello. Okay, I can't get my drawer back in. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, because I went into the inner corner and livened that up, I don't know what I'm talking about, brightened that up, I'm going to kind of go in with this brush, the same brush that I've been using almost the whole time. And I'm going to go in and kind of blend that out. I have no products, no extra products on there. Did you see those unique line And what thing? Yeah, what thing? I've tried some of the unique lipsticks, I think, and I liked them. I didn't have any problem with them. This is just a powder brush. I'm just going over everything, making sure everything's nice and blended. And that's typically like where I would stop on a daily basis. I mean, if anybody has any questions or wants me to do anything extra, I will. But sometimes I go this much. Sometimes a lot of times I definitely go less. But this is usually what happens. Yeah, I'm interested in it. So, one more time with the giveaway. It's something that's super exciting to me because with the job I have, I feel like it's really important to give back. And it's important to give back no matter what you're doing. But I really liked the fact that instead of just sharing a post, that you actually had to nominate somebody. And it was really important to me that everybody just kind of like digs deep in their heart and nominates somebody that they think is amazing and could really use something like this. I mean, I can't wait until June when we pick the person and I can just help someone. That's the main focus. That's what I want to do. I want somebody to come in who wouldn't normally come in, who can't come in because of financial issues or whatever the situation is. I want to be able to do that for somebody. So sending your nominations to me on who you think deserves a spa day. They're going to get their hair done, color, cut, styled. They want their nails painted. I'll paint their nails, whatever they want to do, pedicure. It's completely up to everybody. So I just want you to send in those nominations, pick somebody who's important in your life and why they deserve to win the free little makeover. So this is the makeup that I've created today. Sorry, I'm a huge slacker on creating more videos and doing more makeup. If you need to see anything else, an in-depth foundation routine, some crazy eye look, something, I would love to do that for you. But send me in your nominations, share this video so everybody else can see that they can send in nominations for somebody to get their hair done, and I'll be looking forward to hearing from it. All right, thanks guys. Bye.